Hello, tropical tubers, and welcome to a new Let's Play with me, BlueAnkylo. We're going to play some StarTropics. We're live streaming it because that's how I do most things these days. But, you know, it should be fine. It's nice to share this with some cool tubers. So, StarTropics, right now we're just listening to some OC remix while we do the intro. But it's one of those NES games that I don't know how popular it ever got. This was a fairly large release for the NES, if I remember it, but a little bit late into the timeline. I think when this game came out, the Super NES was like a year away or something. It does have a sequel that nobody played, and StarTropics 2 actually came out like years after the Super Nintendo was released, so it was really, really late into the development cycle. But anyway, StarTropics, this one specifically, I had as a kid when I was a little Ankylo, just a little baby Ankylo. And it was one of my, I didn't have a ton of video games, but I had like maybe by the end of the NES, I probably had 8 or 9 of them or something. And this was one of the few. So other than the ones you rented from the old video store. Anyway, so this is one of the ones I played quite a lot as a little kid. It was pretty difficult for a little kid. The controls are a little bit wonky. It's kind of got that old, like you press a direction and then your animation for moving to the left or right is kind of locked in. So there's going to be a little bit of like, I don't know what you'd call it nowadays, but it's almost like input lag where your buttons don't do anything until a certain animation frame flows by. So that's kind of like the hard part. It's got some RPG mechanics. It's very Zelda-esque and a fun little game. So yeah, we're gonna get started here in a minute. One thing I like to do, if you've been around the channel for a while, is for these older games, especially 1990-ish era games, a lot of the actual information was in the manual. So I'm going to pull up just a PDF of the old manual with the Nintendo seal of quality. And I'm just going to read through some of the introduction story because the game doesn't actually cover all of it. Boy, remember when you had instructions for how to handle game packs and control decks? So, my name, hi everybody. This is me, Mike Jonesylo. But friends call me Mike. I'm 15 years old from Seattle. Have you heard of my Uncle Steve? Well, most people don't call him that. They call him Dr. Jones. Not Indiana. He is a very famous archaeologist who is looking for some lost ruins in the Coral Sea. Let me turn this music down just a little bit. And we'll switch to the next song. Okay, so we're looking for Dr. Jones in the Coral Sea. I've never actually met him, but last week I got a letter inviting me to stay with him in his laboratory on Sea Island, which is definitely the shape of a sea. I leave tomorrow on a helicopter. I bet I won't be able to sleep at all tonight. Well, good night. We'll read that letter in a minute. It's very important that we have this letter. Today I landed on Sea Island. This will be episode 1, after a long helicopter ride. The people are very friendly, and they all seem to know my uncle at Coral Cola. This is why we're all addicted to pop as children. So I sure like this village, but I still can't find my uncle no matter where I look. This is the chief of Coca-Cola. We'll talk to this guy. This part I remember is in the game. So we got a chief, we got a shaman, we got, you know, the Zelda starting screen. You know, playing the game is, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that when we get in there. Fight courageously. You know, you've got hearts, you've got a yo-yo. Baseball, you know, it was the 90s, guys. It was the 90s. Yo-yos, baseball bats, slingshots. It was in. You don't get like a sword or anything. Pfft, no need for swords. So there's all these little magic items. I know how they work reasonably well, probably, and I'll explain them as we get there and all the enemies and stuff. But yeah, you know, it's kind of like an old Zelda game, right? There's this Southern Cross. This is one of the most beautiful constellations in the southern sky. Island sailors use the Southern Cross as a guide for navigating the often dangerous island waters. In addition to its use of navigation, the island mystics talk of strange power in the Southern Cross is said to give those who look in times of crisis. So I actually remember like learning about this as a kid because, you know, living in the Northern Hemisphere, we don't have a Southern Cross. We have a North Star, which points to the north. If you follow like the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, you can always see where the direction of north is on a clear night. Well, you can't see it when you're in the Southern Hemisphere. So they have a little cross thing. I've never been in the Southern Hemisphere, so I've never been able to look at it, but yeah, it's a real thing. It's neat. We're going to comply with the FCC, though, don't worry. Very important that you don't generate some radio frequency and get the law involved. All right, so this is kind of an important little letter. I had this. I actually had this physical copy as a little kid, and some empty space on it. It's kind of suspicious. Dear Mike, I am sorry I did not write you sooner, but I just returned from a long voyage in the islands in search of lost ruins and artifacts. And I was very pleased to find your letter upon my return. Boy, time sure is flying by. Last I saw you, you were just starting school, and now 15 years old. An honor student and captain of the high school baseball team. I think it's a great idea that you visit me during your vacation. I'm sure that you'll enjoy the tropical islands, the blue water, and the friendly people you'll find living under the Southern Cross. You can even take a cruise in my super submarine, the Sub-Sea. I have enclosed some pictures and a map of Sea Island for you. Hope to see you soon, and give my regards to your family. So, yeah, you got a little map. It's just, we're going on a little adventure. Our uncle, Dr. Jones, a famous archaeologist, just invited us to a cool little island down in the southern hemisphere somewhere. I'm not sure if this is probably supposed to be like Polynesia or something, I betcha. But, anyway, let's, there's lots of islands. It's just islands and islands and islands and stuff, so get used to it. Alright, so let's switch over to the game music. And I'll probably just reset it so you can see from the beginning. Also in my little emulator, sometimes enabling sound doesn't always work. Totally works. Alright, soft reset. So, this is what you see if you put the cartridge into your NES back as a young child. Sheesh. 30 years ago? Feeling old. Also, it's very important you can hear the music. I'm gonna maybe turn it up just a tiny titch. This game has some really awesome background music. So I turn it up just a little bit. You guys let me know if you can't hear the classic NES sort of MIDI style music. Look at this animation. We're on a helicopter. We're flying to Sea Island. We're gonna go on an adventure. I mean a vacation. Hope you're enjoying summer break, everybody. I think that's all there is, yeah. Good enough. Okay, so definitely not Zelda. In fact, you have to use the select button to to switch through. Just classic NES style. I think the start and save screen is exactly the same with different colors as the Zelda one. Same controls and everything. They stole it. Copyright infringement or something. Alright, let's go. One day in summer, you land at Sea Island where Dr. Jones has his laboratory. So, you know, this is the overworld. It's like you're playing an RPG, but there's no random encounters, so don't worry. You can't walk through trees, also you can't swim. It's a pretty dangerous place to have a vacation if you don't know how to swim, to be honest. I could just relax here listening to the music for a little while. Yeah. It's a bopper. They don't even interrupt it when you go into a town. It's beautiful. Oh, this little video glitch. Classic. That's the old NES thing. Welcome to Coral Cola. Or Sea Island, however you want to call it. Mike, you're an ace pitcher. I hear. Show me how to throw a fastball sometime. Do they even have baseballs? Looks like everything's made out of straw. I'm Miss Coral 1990. Do you think I'm pretty? If you have to ask, you're not. Have you met our chief yet? He's waiting. Yeah, you know, chiefs. Mike, your uncle told me about you. I feel like we're old friends. I've never seen you before, kid. Don't call me friend. It's very important to go talk to this pig. I think it's trying to run away or something. It doesn't talk to you anymore after you talk to it. So I don't think Mike is very good with animals or something. I have to hurry. I'm gonna roast a pig for your welcome party. Oh. That might explain it. Roast pig for my party. Who are you? Stay away from here. I'm Mike. Mike Jones. I heard you were coming. Want to go fishing? He actually is pretty good at fishing from what I hear. I'm a classic American West Coaster. I play baseball. I do a yo-yo, whatever you call that. I throw yo-yo. I all-star pitcher. I like to go fishing. You know, character development. Last night I gazed up at the Southern Cross. Suddenly I saw many shooting stars. Legends say shooting stars are omens of disaster. Oh me, oh my. -1 stability. Your uncle, Dr. Jones, is so nice. We call him Dr. J. Oh, last week I met Dr. J. He was very busy solving last week. We just barely met him, but we call him Dr. J. He was trying to solve some strange puzzle. Did I talk to this one? Where do you come from? Americola? You could call it that. That's not that's not far off, honestly. Alright. It's actually very important you go talk to everyone first. I think I should have maybe showed it off, but I'm pretty sure if you talk to the chief before you talk to everybody, he's just like, go talk to people. It's classic old bad video game design. I've been waiting for you. I'm Chief Coral Cola and a good friend of your uncle. Listen, Mike, I have some bad news. Last night, try not to be too upset, but your uncle, Dr. Jones, has been abducted. We must keep this from the islanders so they don't panic. You are the best hope of rescuing Dr. Jones. I don't know what to do. Can you help? So just some random 15-year-old that just showed up, never been here before, doesn't know how to swim, never, like, you know, completely lost, barely has a map. I'm the best one to go rescue Dr. Jones. Okay. Good, you're brave. Take this yo-yo. You might think it's just a toy, but it's a really powerful yo-yo. Mike, you're a nice pitcher. You can throw this like a foot or so. Maybe like 1 meter. I don't know how long the string is. I wish I had gotten a sword. I mean, yay, I have a yo-yo. Mike, it looks peaceful around here, but in the dark below, many monsters have appeared the last few years. Don't let them get you. Mike, the fate of your uncle is in your hands. The uncle you've never met. You just got a letter from him. Find a tunnel in the village and hurry to Dr. J's lab. Saving character's grace. Alright, we got a yo-yo. We're gonna go underground and totally rescue our uncle. Oh, you're the nephew. Here's the tunnel. Have fun. I mean, good luck. I don't know. This game isn't too bad. There's a couple times where the dialogue actually updates. Maybe not anytime soon, but I do know that at some point, some of the villager, you can talk to them and they say something different. Kind of like the old Dragon Quest games. I'm the shaman and sister of the island chief. Your uncle was abducted because he found a secret in the lost ruins. I have a great hope that you will succeed in rescuing Dr. Jones. Just like your North Star, island sailors look for the Southern Cross. Mike, many wild monsters await you in the dark below. But remember, the magic of the Southern Cross is always on your side at night if you're in clear skies. Now begin the test of island courage. Good luck. Yeah, don't turn your power off while you're saving. Alright, and this is what the actual game looks like. I'm not super happy that the bottom is jiggling like that. It's not supposed to. Maybe I'll look into trying to fix that in a little bit. For now, let's just get in here. It's fine. Don't worry about the little jiggling user interface. Gotta remember how to actually play this. Alright, so hopping around. Yeah, okay. You can yo-yo, you can hop. Don't walk into enemies. That's not the way to do it. I'm just practicing, getting the feel for it. So you can hop over like one tile of water, basically. You can't walk through these kinds of things. You can jump like that. It's very, you can change directions midair, but you can't stop, like, you can't change where you're headed, basically. It's not Mario. You can't slow down midair or anything, but you can, you know, yo-yo backwards or something, basically. I guess that's a little bit more realistic. Alright. Stars, I think you collect a few of them and they heal you up or something. We'll see. Enemies have random drops, kind of like Zelda games. There's lots of secrets. I think it's 5 stars. I could have looked it up in the manual probably, but this one's really suspicious. So, there's lots of secret switches is the main thing I remember here. In fact, I just remember there's a lot of secrets. So for the most part, we're just gonna hop on everything. Every tile must be hopped on. And rats are stronger than slimes. So make sure you're careful if you're playing along, if you want to play it at some point. I definitely remember being careful of too wide water, because you cannot, if you try to jump, you just die. Like, water's an insta-kill. Like, it's not just like taking a, 1 damage or respawn with -1 heart or anything. If I jumped left right here, game over. Well, death anyway. The jumping mechanics, platforming is not super difficult, but you do have to be careful, is all I'm saying. The paper was really cool. Yeah, don't spoil it. It's a secret. It's just a regular old letter inviting you to come play. Or to come go on a holiday. Okay, this is our first, like, relatively easy room to die in. Alright, so I think I remember the way to go on this one, but I want to demonstrate before we rush to the end of the game. I probably could maybe rush through the game and skip a lot of stuff by like knowing where to go. This room, well, it looks like a skull, and you might get the feeling that this is a dead end because it's dead. So there's some stuff like that where they give you some clues. Let's try left. Oh look, another skull. So I guess these are just sort of like monster trap rooms. You walk in, kill some monsters to escape. You could probably fall into the eyeball and die if you really wanted to. I'm not going to fully explore those rooms because I'm pretty confident they're just dead. Let's see. There's another secret in here though, don't worry. It's always these suspicious ones, they're just sitting there in the corner. Oh, I guess you could just, well, hold on, let me jump down here. I guess we could just jump straight up this way, right? As long as you're careful. There we go. Alright, a secret passage. The only way forward. Oh, and treasure chests are locked. Hey, we got some torch. Yeah, the song's really catchy. I love it. Alright, more bats and rats. Honestly, these early enemies are pretty chill. The rats do kind of rush towards you, but if you've played, if you've played Zelda, they're not that bad. They're not as fast as the snakes in Zelda 1. Alright, serious time. Snakes take 2 hits. I guess they do charge at you just like Zelda. This really is a Zelda 1 ripoff. 100%. So they usually play this music when you're pretty close to the boss fight, or something dangerous is about to happen. We could go up. And we know that switch gave us this pile of torches. But what does this other switch do? Something exploded. If you were paying attention to the last few rooms, they typically have switches kind of follow a direction where you unlock a switch, and then the red switch, if you kind of draw a line between them, it kind of points towards the path that it's opening. It doesn't always work, but that was the hint there. Oh look, a nice little surprise present room with a little bottle of potion. It's a red potion, straight from Zelda. You can use them on the start menu, but you have to go up to magic items. Oh look! More switches. Pointing upwards. Hey! More potions! It's recursion! What if we just kept going and getting infinite potions? Hold on a second. Nothing to see here. Let's just keep going north and getting more potions. It's fine. Oh, you liked those potions, didn't you? Too bad you did. It's such a rude game. So you die and then they take your potions back. I'm pretty sure you can go get the 2 back again if you want, though. But it's a pretty cheap death, and there's a few of those. Thus, I'll use a save state once in a while just to avoid it. If I remember, I'll try to show it off. If I don't remember, then I'll just die, and you'll get to see what happens. Throw the controller around. Alright. Sadly, monsters almost always respawn when you, I think you can hop over them, yeah. I don't think the treasure respawns? No. Only monsters, not weapons. I guess we should talk about, torches. You can toss them. Oh yeah, and they do double damage compared to your yo-yo, so... I mean, it's not really a surprise, but your yo-yo doesn't really do very much damage. The torches are much stronger. Uh-oh. Alright, don't die. This is what the magic's for. Okay, you can beat it with a yo-yo, but you have to hop right in front of its mouth, which is kind of dangerous. So I think we got a little bit unlucky with the first 2 cycles of it shooting fire. I'm pretty sure it's just a random, it either opens its mouth and lets you can kill it, or it shoots fire at you. If it shoots fire at you, unless you've got pretty amazing reflexes, you're going to take a damage. But I mean, if you practice, you can probably get out of the way or something, but yeah. It's been like 30 years. Is it 1990? 2021, can you believe it's been 31 years? So I don't remember how to do that anymore. Wow, you've done it! I've only played the very beginning of StarTropics 2, and I never really got... Maybe I will this time, we'll see. Alright, so that was really all there was to it. We killed a giant snake, learned how to jump across water, and that was a dungeon. Hi, I'm Babu, Dr. J's assistant. Mike, you know Dr. J has a submarine called the Sub-C. The ID code to start the engine of the sub is 1492. Don't worry, you don't need to write it down. Please get on board the Sub-C in the laboratory. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm afraid of... Oh no. Oh no. He's afraid of whatever abducted Dr. J. Or something. Maybe he's just afraid of children with yo-yos. Hey look! It's Rob the robot. In the cockpit of Sub-C. Welcome on board. I am the navigational computer of Sub-C. Call me Navcom. Input the ID code now. Error. Input. Error. Input. Oh, never mind. 1492. Start engine. Aye aye, Captain. Sub-C is ready to launch. All head full. They just... Any nautical term they can think of, they just throw in there. Hey look, everyone came out to watch. They didn't even... We just disappeared into a cave. For all they know, we died. And then suddenly they're standing outside watching us in a magic submarine going away.